the inside, you might be good. You might roll away with no damage, but we have two car killers at this track. There's two blunt ends, we'll call them attenuators, at the entrance to turn 1 and the entrance to turn 3. And if you misjudge just a little bit or get turned, it could totally end your night instantly. So I'm thinking because I saw a lot of guys in practice running that high line, especially into turn 1. So if it gets misjudged or if there's a little contact, we might see some serious action here at this track.
Yeah, no, it's this is one of those tracks that I actually love because you can almost play chicken with a guy that's been racing your rough all race. He wants to make a move on the outside. Well, you got options out there too. So yeah, you got the splitter there. What you like it, and someday I'm gonna get that word down. Not today. But yeah, you can kind of hold the guy out there, and on the outer when we go there next week. You got that whole pit exit road on the outside, so yeah, which the Cesar drivers here raced the outer here, and that's what cost Jeff Ward a win, was getting mixed up with a lap car that got him into the attention pole thing, and wiped his car out, destroyed it there at the end of the race. So you know, look for it to be an issue here tonight, but really a dilemma for some guys tomorrow or next week.
And we're going to go ahead and grid up right here, and hopefully we don't see anybody get into the attenuator during the course of this event. The attention pole, well, it'll definitely get attention if anybody gets into it.
Yeah, the attention pole. I like that way better.
So we're going to go ahead and grid up for this race, and we've got Travis Pryor is going to go ahead and who's going to be starting on the pole here. Matt Vaughty and that Tegrity Farms car is going to be starting on the pole. Starting second, right outside of him is going to be Jeff Dillon, and that number 52. And we've seen those Dillon boys at the front of the field throughout the course of this whole season. So
yeah, and it looks like they're really good here too. So you know, I wouldn't put it past them to be fast everywhere we go, but you know, the cousin already he already locked up that pole, that hot lap, got the bonus points for that. I'm sure we'll see him up here fighting for the lead later on as well.
We've got a car stalled on the grid right now. That's the number 17 of Nick Rayberg. He's not going to be able to get going. Oh, there he goes. I was going to say, I don't know if it's possible to go a lap down before we get going, but it almost happened. He's going to go ahead and slot back in there. Little ignition problems, possibly. That button box not working out.
Yeah. Brand new button box. Not looking too hot now. You got to make sure that stuff's ready to go. That is possible. I've messed up a race before not being able to restart my car.
All right, green flag is out. I didn't realize the pace car was going to pull off there, so that was my bad. Green flag in the air, and right now we've got Jeff Dillon and Matt Vaughty side by side for the lead, and right behind them, that's the 10 of Travis Wright and Brandon Wilkinson. Everybody trying to get to that bottom line. And Matt Vaughty out to an early lead there. He was able to sneak it out on Jeff Dillon and go ahead and get around him. And right now in third place is going to be Travis Wright. Fourth going to be Brandon Wilkinson, but he's side by side with Justin Blackdeer. And these laps are clicking by quick already. That number 9 of Michael Crafton, he was very strong in practice and qualifying. He's sitting in 6th right now.
Ooh, just took a shot too from the 17, it looked like.
Yeah, the 17 of Nick Rayberg, he's definitely got it going now. And he is all over the back bumper of Justin Blackdeer in that number 51 car.
I'll tell you what.
I was going to say, our pole sitter, Kevin Dillon, in the 26 has lost quite a bit of ground. He has dropped back to the 11th position, definitely not going in the direction he would want to be going. And it's so hard for these cars to get to the bottom. Actually, right there, you see the 9 of Michael Crafton finally gets to the bottom there.
Yeah, he's going to have to start capitalizing on that, capturing that bottom before he gets to the turn a little better when these cars catch up to him. I think that bottom line, it's starting to stack up. It's starting to slow down. So those cars behind him, they're able to catch up to him and then throw a nose under you before you get to that turn. So you're going to have to start guarding that position unless you're ready to, you know, ride the wave and take the outside lane and try to use up some tires to get some more positions.
It doesn't have the banking, but this track very kind of similar in terms of racing style to the old Bristol. You know, you get, with that single groove racing, you get one car that's just a little bit slower, and it's definitely going to stack up the traffic behind. And we're already starting to see some of these cars having a hard time to get the power down and having a hard time getting all the way to the bottom. Yeah, right now, Mike McComiskey in that 33 car, and yes, Jason, I've been practicing his name so I could get it right. Mike McComiskey in that number 33, his car is really seems to be ill handling in the early stages of this race. He got a little bump from the 03 of Chris Canfield, and he is getting hung out to dry on the outside right now as our pole sitter, Kevin Dillon, is going to go by. Kevin's worked his way back up into the top 10. I've got to say, I'm a little surprised, Jason. So far, this race has been pretty clean. I kind of thought we would see a caution flag before lap 15.
Yeah, they're kind of toned down a little bit. I think maybe their fun race that they had for their summer break was it was good to get some of the aggression out. They're racing hard. I mean, we're seeing them get into each other, start trying to move them to make these passes, but they're keeping it kind of maintained. You know, everyone's racing with a lot of respect out here. That's kind of a key word that I'm seeing as, 33 gets a little, was that loose? Was that a snappy loose condition?
Yeah, I saw McComiskey in that 33 car. His car seems to be really loose. Or squirrely. I'll say his car looks squirrely.
We might be we might be bringing the commentator's curse. We might want to go to someone else. Let's take a look back up front. I don't want to talk about no cautions and highlight someone and then have them spin out on the next lap. But I'll tell you, someone who does feel good is Matt Vade. The last race when we were at North Wilkesboro, man, he was having a hell of a day. It seemed like he couldn't get a good run everywhere they were. Every time they restarted, he got shuffled in the wrong spot and ended up just getting into accident after accident. So, you know, he feels good. He was probably practicing for 2 weeks for this race coming up.
Yeah, you said it. He definitely had a rough night in North Wilkesboro a couple weeks ago, but he is definitely flexing his muscles here tonight in Irwindale. Matt Vaughty wants to be the Cali King. I'm thinking here in the California hustle we're doing. And so far, he has led every single lap of these 22 laps, and he has pulled himself out to a pretty solid 1 second lead, which for, 13 and change second laps around this track, it's a pretty sizable margin early on. And I'm starting to think that we're definitely going to see lap traffic play a role here. With the single groove, nobody wants to go a lap down, and I don't think they're going to be moving over for the leaders. So I'm curious, once Matt Vaughty hits lap traffic here in the next probably 5 or 10 laps, I wonder how difficult it'll be for him to work his way through.
Yeah, because I don't believe they have a move over rule here. I think it's, race your race style stuff here. And if that's the case, he's going to have to take that all of the lead lap cars are going to have to start taking that higher lane to get around these lappers if they're going to be holding the bottom. So that's definitely going to make it interesting. The cars aren't going to handle the same, and so when these lead lap cars get there, they're going to be driving kind of a little differently. They're going to change up their line. They're going to be upset. So now we're going to see who can race both lines.
Jeff Dillon under pressure from Brandon Wilkinson in that 56 car. And it looks like Jeff Dillon's kind of using a little bit. He's not running that tight bottom. He is running about a half a lane up from the bottom. I don't know if that's making his car feel a little better or if he feels like he's saving tires, but it seems to be working for him. But it's definitely making Brandon Wilkinson, he's tempted to try to stick the nose under there. He hasn't really gotten a good enough run to be able to pull it off yet, but almost every racer here in this series is going to be opportunistic when it comes to getting a position.
Yeah, these guys, this whole field's too good to let something slip away. So when you see a chance, you got something you can exploit, you need to go for it. You know, that's definitely what we're seeing Wilkinson do here as he's starting to size this up. I bet his mouth is just watering to get the second place here as, oh, gets clipped by the 17 and a caution already out.
Caution is out, and a little bit of a delayed commentator's curse. Number 33, a Mike McComiskey with damage to the left front of that car.
Yeah, we're seeing it here. That was the 13 and 33 getting together. And the 82 had nowhere to go. Ended up...
Jackie Palmore.
Yeah.
Heavy contact. And the 13 car of Zach Coldbeer Coyer, he had a little bit of left side damage, but he continued. I think he might be okay. But right now I'm thinking about Jackie Palmore in that 82 with some heavy nose damage, and also the 33 of Mike McComiskey, who we definitely did not curse by talking about him earlier, involved in that accident.
Yeah, two cars going for the same spot. You definitely see that any racetrack you go to, but when one groove's way more favorable than the other, you're definitely going to have that.
Absolutely, and watching the replay of that crash, that definitely, that 33 car definitely squirrely. I could see the characteristics earlier in the run. Looked like he just got sideways and overcorrected a bit up into that traffic. Really nowhere to go for the 82 and the 13. They were just kind of innocent bystanders. But the 33 of McComiskey is not going to make a pit stop. He's going to keep it rolling, it looks like, as well as the 82 of Jackie Palmore. So no pit stops. Clearly they think their cars are good to go.
Now, is that something we talked about last race? Was are they not allowed tire changes? Is that every race, or was that just some?
Yeah, no tires in this series.
Right. Yeah, they got to end it on what they start on.
Yeah, and I don't think fuel's going to play a factor here at this this track. So now, Jason, we've got some fans watching at home. I want to give a shout out to Joanne Pryor and Pat Just Pat, which I'm thinking that's not her real name, it's just her Facebook name, but a shout out to the two of them. They are big Travis Pryor fans. They want to see their boy go to victory lane. We're about to go green. We'll see if he can pull it off. Green flag back out, and another great start from Matt Vaughty in that number 8 car. And wow, look at Nick Rayberg on the outside with a great jump.
He's using all the gas he can on this one, man. He's got the pedal down. He's on the outside. You got to go for it. Every spot's going to be a loss of a position, so he's driving it in deep. It's going to make it a little tight, though.
The two of them going door to door. Caution flag back out. We see another caution.
This might be Chris Reardon here.
I believe you're right. That's the 6 of Chris Reardon. He goes around again. Maybe some damage to that car. Or maybe he just wanted to ensure that he had the caution.
The 36, it was Kelsey Rogers that had spun out there. Let's see if we can back that up.
Yeah, the 36 of Kelsey Rogers got spun around there, and Chris Reardon had nowhere to go. Oh, and the 36 goes around at the hand of the number 39 car. That's Aaron Hicks. Hicks got into the back of Kelsey Rogers. And Chris Reardon had nowhere to go. These laps go by so quick at this track.
Yeah, that was right into the wheel, too. Definitely got some wheel damage on that one. Well, I think everyone at home will be happy to see that Travis Pryor's made it up to 11th here.
Yeah, I believe the whole Pryor family, the whole clan has been watching this race, and he's putting on a good show for them and a good show for us. So
definitely got some bonus moves that time, man. He made it up 11 spots.
Yeah,
up to 11.
He's our hard charger. So far, our hard charger. That's hard to do at this track.
Yeah, so he definitely capitalized on something. I think he may have made some ground up right before the caution came out and capitalized on that big time.
Another big mover of this race is Nick Rayberg. He started 9th. He was just outside that invert, and he has moved his way up to the 2nd position, and he was showing some serious speed on the outside there.
All right.
Curious to see if he can try to get that jump on our leader, Matt Vaughty.
Yeah, he's definitely going to try it here. I can't wait to watch this.
So the field's going to grid back up. That's Matt Vaughty and Nick Rayberg side by side. Brandon Wilkinson and Jeff Dillon. Pace car is going to pull off, and green flag back in the air. And Vaughty with a good start, but Rayberg's going to stay right there on the outside the field 2 by 2 as they hit the backstretch. I don't know, Jason, maybe they lay more rubber down on that outside. It's working a little bit better, but now trying the crossover. Nick Rayberg to the inside. Excellent move down the front straightaway for Nick Rayberg with the crossover.
Yeah, he threaded the needle on that, man. I can't believe he was able to clear that with that group of cars so tight.
I know, but Vaughty making that outside work. Vaughty hanging in there in the number 8 car, the 17 and the 8 side by side. Rayberg and Vaughty putting on a great show for our fans here in Southern California as Vaughty gets loose. And that's going to be costly mistake for Matt Vaughty. He's going to be relegated to the 3rd, possibly 4th. He's stuck on the outside. He's going to try to slot his way back in behind Wilkinson, but as we stand, it looks like he's going to get hung out.
Yeah, he's hung out to dry, man. This pack is way too tight. On entry, they change up their lines a little bit. That's where he's going to have a chance. But it's going to be hard to get in there. Who's that? I think we got someone in the middle of the track.
Yeah, a little bit of a shake-up there. I don't know if they were anticipating a caution or what, but Matt Vaughty definitely was able to make that work. Vaughty slides back in behind Wilkinson in 3rd place. I don't know if he caught him sleeping there or if he just had a good run off the corner. But he powered his way down to the bottom and was able to get into that 3rd position, and Michael Crafton is going to end up 4th right behind him. Jeff Dillon, the big loser in that little shakeup, he's going to get shifted down to 5th or 6th, and he's now stuck on the outside. Yeah, Jeff Dillon in that 52 car, he is stuck on the outside. We've got Chris Canfield making his way by in that 03 car, and behind him the 10 of Travis Wright. Dillon trying to make it work on the outside. Michael Crafton's going to get by Matt Vaughty in that number 8. He's going to work his way up to that 3rd position. And I'm going to keep my eye on Michael Crafton. He was very fast in practice and qualifying. Qualified in the 2nd position. He was our 2nd fastest in qualifying. I believe he was 2nd fastest in practice.
Tell you what, there's a handful of guys out there that just, you know, flat tracks, they wrap their head around it way better than the majority of drivers. So, you know, this is one of these tracks where these guys kind of separate themselves from their peers and get some strong finishes out here. I mean, we've seen Crafton. He's usually up in that top 10 trying to break into it, but he's running real strong here. So, you know, maybe he's one of these flat track racers that is real good at the heel towing on the brake and gas there.
Well, I'm not a flat track driver. I'm definitely one of those drivers that likes a high bank. And to use a quote from our producer Jeff Shrewsbury in the pre-race, he said, "I need some high banks to hold up my lack of talent." So I'm definitely one of those guys. I love a high bank track. I love carrying speed, and there's definitely some finesse and almost a road course sort of approach when you come to these flat tracks.
Yeah,
Got to modulate your braking, got to modulate the throttle, got to tiptoe around these tracks, and it's almost you got to be graceful.
Yeah, there's actually a lot that carries over to those road course guys. So a lot of these guys that you see shine at road course racing, they typically are pretty competitive when it comes to flat tracks like this. But now we're seeing lap traffic starting to be an issue. Here's the 17. Nick Rayberg's been doing a real good job since he got the lead. He is the car to beat right now. Crazy speed, but he's starting to get into the low-hanging fruit here as he's starting to work into that lap traffic. Takes it way under the line, trying to get on there.
Now, if you remember, a couple weeks back, we had a shakeup in our final standings about going under the line, and I'm wondering if we have the same sort of rule here. I think you can get maybe two tires under the line, but if you go all four underneath, you might get adjudicated to the back of the field.
Adjudicated, that's right. I think it was Brandon Wilkinson that was on the bad side of that penalty and had to give up a win on that.
And our leader, I don't know if you saw that, our leader is working his way through traffic, and he sliced right up to the door. The number 13 is Zach Coyer, and almost made contact. He's actually working through this lap traffic pretty well. He is maintaining his 1.1.5 second lead right now. He lost 1/10 that last lap, but he's doing a great job of maintaining that lead while passing cars.
Yeah, no, he's been all over it, and I don't think maybe he was sandbagging in the qualifying, but this is a lot of speed. This is something I don't think he just found this groove out just in practice or just in that warm up before the race. So he definitely knows what he's doing out here, and we've seen him be coming up the field ever since the beginning of the race.
Well, I'll tell you, Jason, if he was trying to sandbag in qualifying, it was kind of like a homemade bomb. It blew up in his face because he missed that invert by one position, ended up 9th. So,
Yeah.
But he definitely made it work. He's worked his way back up from 9th place to the lead, and he is running away with it right now.
Back here, we got a battle for what I'm thinking is maybe 8th. It's between Travis Pryor as he gets close to that left rear of the 10 car there. Let's say that's Travis Wright.
Yeah, Travis and Travis going door to door. The 002 of Travis Pryor. We know he's got some fans watching tonight, and Travis right in that 10 car. Both of them solidly inside the top 10 right now. As we're getting close, we're just past halfway in this event, and it's been a lot cleaner than I thought. But with the amount of power these cars have and the amount of slip angle they're putting into these tires, I'm thinking that as this race goes on, we might see more slipping and sliding. Is right there. I don't know if you saw the 10 car. Travis Wright got sideways, and Pryor capitalized, and caution flag. We do have a caution flag on the track again. And I'm not sure who brought that caution out. I don't know if you have any data there, Jason. I'm having a hard time figuring out where this caution came from.
Yeah, we're looking through the list here. We're seeing where everyone got slow. We're not seeing any contact yet.
It is lap 75. I'm not sure if there is a competition caution scheduled for lap 75. But either way, it doesn't look like anybody really lost a lot of ground there. Possibly some debris on the track.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking there was a hot dog wrapper out there.
I think one of these drivers threw their glove out the window because they wanted to make up some ground.
Yeah.
Pulling a good old Robbie Gordon. We can neither confirm nor deny whether he actually did that. Just in case Robbie's watching.
Yeah.
So right before that caution flag, the 03 at Chris Canfield was able to get around Michael Crafton, and he's going to be in that third position. He's another one. He started in 10th. He's worked his way up to third, so another big mover there. But right now, our hard charger is going to be Travis Pryor. Shout out to the Pryor group. He started 22nd. That's shotgun on this field, and he has worked his way up into the top 10. Impressive run so far for that 002 car.
Yeah, no, he's kept it clean. He's kept it fast all race, so you know, good job on him. And we're getting stacked up. We're getting ready to go here.
Yeah, lights are off on the pace car. We're going to stack them back up. Nick Rayberg and Brandon Wilkinson going to be on that front row. Chris Canfield, Michael Crafton in the second row. Jeff Dillon and Matt Vaughty. Going to round out your top 6 as the pace car's off. And green flag back in the air, and a great start by Brandon Wilkinson. And oh, Nick Rayberg gets turned right in front of the whole field.
Bottles
Big
up the
crash.
whole field. Man, cautions, treed cautions. I think everyone took a lick on that one.
Yeah, the 92 of Jeff Rogers, the 51 of Justin Blackdeer, the 17 of Nick Rayberg, and several other cars made glancing blows. I don't know how many of them may have knocked their toe out or anything, but Brandon Wilkinson with a heck of a jump on that start. And Chris Canfield took some damage. He's the one that got into Rayberg. Tough break for Nick Rayberg. That 17 car is so fast tonight.
No, you could even see him in there wheeling it best he could as he got spun around there. Yeah, hard damage all over that car.
If I were Nick Rayberg, I'd be frustrated that I got turned, but it seemed like the whole field got a pretty good jump. It looked like Nick Rayberg just didn't get going at the same speed that everybody else did. Brandon Wilkinson jumped out to an early lead, and Chris Canfield looks like he's going to get an end of longest line penalty for that turn. Also unfortunate for him. Definitely not intentional. But, you know, short track rules, sometimes the administrators have to make tough calls. So the two of them are going to be at the end of the longest line for this next restart.
Yeah, that's I don't think I'd want to be near each other for a little while after that one, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be near them either, but unfortunately, due to the ruling here, they're going to be starting right next to each other.
That's just how racing usually happens. Real quick, for all of our fishing and game fans out there, we want you to take a look at the Hardcore Fishing Game clothing outlook. You can find them on Facebook. We'll get a link on you on our Facebook page there. But stop by, check out some outdoor clothing from Hardcore Fishing Game.
They've definitely got some cool stuff. I might go shopping after we're done broadcasting here.
Yeah, there's also you can pre-order, so 10% off if you pre-order.
So basically, they're paying us to shop.
Yeah, you're getting money.
All right,
back.
green flag. I'm sorry, green flag back in the air. They decided to do a single file restart for this. Kind of caught us sleeping there, plugging our sponsors. And Brandon Wilkinson out to an early lead. And he has got Michael Crafton, not Matt Crafton, Michael Crafton all over his back bumper. And just to bring everyone up to speed, Chris Canfield, he is sitting on pit road. He is 4 laps down. I'm not sure if they parked him or if he has gotten an exorbitant penalty here. But he is currently 5 laps down, sitting in 18th. So basically end of the night for Chris Canfield. That's a rough penalty there, but... you know, they all attended the drivers' meeting. They knew, they probably knew what was going to happen. So
Yeah, I mean, this is we'll have Jeff get to the bottom of the story here, but definitely feels like he probably didn't agree with that. It didn't really look like it was an intentional dump. I think that's going to come a little bit later on in the race. But you know, he's probably frustrated and loaded that thing up. They're loading it up, getting it out of town for tonight. Looks like they had enough racing, so you know, it's one of those things. You know, doesn't necessarily mean it's intentional. Oh, we got another caution. Maybe not
Another
intentional.
caution. Caution flag out on the field.
Fortunately, I think this is going to be Travis Wright.
Yeah, Travis getting into trouble there.
Now that kind of looks like the same thing. We might have both the Travis battle have to take a walk, which would really suck for Pryor. He's made it up to 6 now. So be looking if he's going to get that same penalty.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll have to see if Jeff can get to the bottom of whether or not that was a penalty or if Canfield just got frustrated and parked it. I'm not sure. Definitely these are just racing incidents. I don't see any malicious intent here. Yeah, this is... So we're hearing that there really wasn't a penalty. I think he did get a penalty, an end of longest line penalty, but Canfield kind of disagreeing with that call there and just took it to the pits. Tough night. He had a very fast car.
And we're seeing Travis Pryor take it to the pits right now, so he's going to lose some track position for that.
So yeah, an end of longest line for causing the caution, Travis Pryor. Unfortunate for him, he had made up so much ground, and he's got to do it all over again with about 30 laps to go.
Oh, man, that's racing for you, though.
And we've got some cars back here in this field that are sitting in the top 10. Justin Blackdeer, Aaron Hicks, Jeff Rogers, Nick Rayberg, who's worked his way back up into the top 10. All of them have some damage to that car, so curious to see if that's going to play a factor or if they're just going to wheel their way through this field unimpeded. I believe the lights are off on the pace car. I don't want to get caught sleeping again. And yeah, there we go. Pace car's off. Green flag back in the air. Brandon Wilkinson with a great jump, but those top 3 cars all over each other. Wilkinson, Crafton, and Vaughty.
Vaughty's made it back up.
Yeah, Matt Vaughty in 3rd place. Jeff Dillon now 4th. In fact, both of the Dillons in the top 5. Jeff and Kevin running 4th and 5th respectively. Well, I'll tell you what, Jason, with the fact that if you cause a caution, you get a penalty for it, it's going to make passing with the bumper even more difficult.
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of, that's almost not worth it, you know. It's one thing, and it's one thing to know in these cars, in this simulation, how to get the cars upset, putting that pressure to the back bumper, and then there's a very fine line of upsetting the car to move them to get under them and then spinning them out. And so if you're not very keen on the difference of those two or how to do it on this track, I wouldn't even really bother with it. That's a very stiff penalty for spinning a guy out.
Yeah, that's an incredibly stiff penalty for short track super late model racing. And you can see right now, Crafton is all over the back bumper of Wilkinson, and they even gave him a little bit of a bump. But you can see he's kind of babying it through these corners, trying to keep from spinning out that leader. And he's almost doing almost kind of diamonding that corner. He's kind of going up to see if he can get a run off the corner. About a lane up and then late apexing it off. He keeps looking to the outside and to the inside, but it just looks like it's going to be very difficult to get around that leader unless there's some sort of slip up.
Well, and you got to think too. There's a couple ways to approach it. If you know that you're way faster, with this many laps left, maybe it's a good thing to make your move, get around them, and start building a gap. But if you know that you're running about the same lap times as that, you're probably not going to want to be passing him and then having him work right back on you with this many laps to go. So, you know, maybe he feels that he's a little bit closer to those lap times. He's biding his time for a later pass later on.
And he is losing a little bit of ground now, so those lap times seem to be pretty similar. I don't think either driver has a huge advantage over the other. Wilkinson slowly starting to pull away. So from Michael Crafton in that number 9, Matt Vaughty's kind of lost touch as he's under fire right now from Kevin Dillon in that number 26. Kevin got around Jeff Dillon in the 52.
Yeah, he's got the Dillons behind him here and working under him.
I tell you what, Jason, I don't think I'd want either of the Dillons behind me, let alone both of them, because they're so fast.
When he's in a duck it in there, he's in a split the Dillon sandwich.
Yeah, he tried to do the crossover, but he got a little loose under power there. Maybe got a little anxious on the throttle and kind of spun the tires. Caution flag. We have a caution back out on the track. I believe that's the number 30 of Louis Robinette. Yeah, Louis Robinette in the 30 got a little loose coming off of turn 2 and just kind of spun it through the inside. No damage, no contact. He's going to continue. But that is going to stack the field back up. I tell you what, if I'm Brandon Wilkinson, I don't want to keep seeing these cautions because he's clearly got a fast car and he just wants to get out in front. But every time we stack it back up, he's got to defend that position again.
Yeah, and it's, you know, I mean, some guys are a little more better kind of defending. Some guys are actually better mirror driving. I've seen it. It's easier for them to just kind of match that line and defend that position. Some guys without pressure, they're not sure what line to take. Like guys that aren't very good at searching for new grip or where that line is changing. Sometimes they lose that speed and then they lose too much of it to give up position. So, I mean, I don't think that's going to be the case here. A short track like this with kind of one groove, it kind of makes it all super simple. And so, I mean, in this situation, yeah. But, you know, as we start venturing out to some of the bigger tracks that are on the schedule, some of these guys that get out too far, they get complacent and can end up making a bigger problem for them later on.
Well, and it's funny because this is round 1 of our 2-part California Hustle series that the All Pro Sim Racing Super Late models will be running. Next week, they'll be running the Irwindale Outer Track, and you can't find 2 completely different tracks in the same place. This is a single groove, 3rd mile track. Next week, we're going to be on the outer track, and you can basically run wherever you want as long as you've got grip. You can run up against the wall, run in the middle, you can run down low. Lots of room to search for grip on the outer track. I know a lot of these cars like running the outside line, carry your momentum, but it'll be interesting to see if that mixes up the field. I believe we're going to be going back racing here in just a minute. About 8 or 9 laps to go. Brandon Wilkinson is going to lead Michael Crafton, Kevin Dillon, Matt Vaughty, and Jeff Dillon down. Green flag back in the air. Excellent jump for Brandon Wilkinson. Looks like he may have caught the field sleeping there.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. I don't know if it was his call or race control's call.
Caution flag immediately back out.
Let's see, that might have been, I think there's an Aaron Hicks incident that we see here. Let's see.
I believe that was Steve Wright. Oh, Steve Wright got, yeah. Kelsey Rogers and Aaron Hicks. They had two separate incidents happening simultaneously there. It looked like Kelsey Rogers got into Steve Wright, and he spun to the infield. And then the 39 of Aaron Hicks also spinning, synchronized spinning here at Irwindale. Yeah, Chris Reardon got into the rear of Aaron Hicks. So, I don't know, we're going to see 4 cars maybe going to the back of the line for this next restart with only 5 laps to go. That's not a good place to be.
No, that's it's kind of a bummer sandwich to take a big bite out of when that happens there. So, no, I'd definitely be minding my manners here at these these last 5 laps. I don't need any reason to give up track position when I've worked this hard to make it to this point.
Yeah, that's got to be disheartening and frustrating, whether you're getting turned or doing the turning, especially knowing that you may go to the long end of the longest line. But rules and consequences are all a part of racing. If you know the rules and you choose to kind of play with them you run the risk of having to serve the consequences. So it's kind of a risk-reward sort of situation where we are getting close to the end of the race and everyone's getting impatient, wanting to get by cars they feel are slower. But you got to do it without bringing out the caution. You can see our leader there, Brandon Wilkinson, trying to get some heat, trying to clean off those tires. Lights are off on the pace car. We're getting ready to go back racing with just a handful of laps to go. Yeah, I believe this is going to be a green-white checker. Now, they do 3 attempts at a green-white checker. I don't think this is going to count as the first. Green flag back in the air. Michael Crafton was given a little bump there to our leader, trying to get him to go. And he's going to jump out to an early lead. Michael Crafton all over our leader, Brandon Wilkinson. The 8 of Matt Vaudy and the 26 of Kevin Dillon side by side. They make a little bit of contact.
Tell you what, that battle's between Vaudy there. He was racing real hard against the Dillon. And the 17 gets into the 8 there. Some action already going. White flag out.
Oh, white flag out, and Michael Crafton gets into our leader. He's going to look to the inside, but I don't think he's going to get into him. They get together. It looks like Nick Rayberg.
Oh, man. There was so much happening on that last one. We got cars all over the track right now.
I'm pretty sure everybody on the lead lap just got disqualified except Nick Rayberg.
You know what that was? I can't wait to talk to these guys to figure out exactly what's going on, because I don't know if that was tempers flaring. I don't know if that was cars out of shape. I don't know if that was one incident falling apart. But Nick Rayberg, he's committed. He's taking the win.
Nick Rayberg went from, I believe, 6th position to the lead on the last lap. Yeah, I think Nick Rayberg was running 6th position when they took the white flag and was able to sneak out a win by just being in the right place at the right time and paying attention to the track conditions ahead of him. That was some real excellent driving there to get through, I believe, 3 separate incidents on that last lap. Nick Rayberg. Kevin Dillon going to bring it home second. Jeff Rogers with a great run in that 92 car. He was able to slip into third. Jeff Dillon fourth, and Michael Crafton gets relegated to fifth. Matt Vaudy. I'm having a feeling, though, Jason, this final results are going to get altered.
Yeah.
When they go back and look at the footage.
Yeah, we're going to have to go with unofficial results right now. So what we can do here is we're going to send you guys off to hear from Modern Spartan Systems, and we'll start getting this worked out and get those finish in order racers in here to hear what they think about the race.
Listen up. The soap you shower with, it's you probably haven't even questioned what bar of soap you lather up with. Let's face it, most guys don't. They're still using whatever bar their mommy bought for her little man. Is that what you want? To smell like mama's little man? Ugh. But now you can upgrade your shower game with Dr. Squatch Natural Soap. Dr. Squatch Natural Soap. Real soap for real men. Or don't, and continue to be mommy's little helper.
Add a bucket, coolant. Oh. Amps it right out. We'll add the bucket. See how long it takes to wear through the coating.
We're back, the All-Pro Sim Racing League here at Irwindale Inner, and you guys just witnessed the last lap of this race was a slobber knocker. Absolute mayhem, pandemonium, or as Jeff Foxworthy would say, pandalirium. Several cars getting turned around and wrecked. Nick Rayberg, who started in 9th, worked his way up. He got turned. He ended up back at the front. Nick Rayberg, congratulations on that crazy last lap and getting out a victory. Tell us about the ups and downs of that race.
I don't know, man. It was crazy. I mean, I was heated once I got turned, but I just started driving like a madman. Got my wheel cooking, and I was gliding through the field, and luckily I got caught a couple cautions, and I was there at the end.
Now, the finish is unofficial, but according to what we saw, it looked like you were able to work your way through all that chaos on the last lap. I think you crossed the line, taking the white flag in 6th position, and you were able to get back around in 1st in front of everyone else. Is this track hard to pass? Is it? It looked like from up here that it was definitely difficult to get around the car in front of you.
I mean, it just depends on the driver. If you can't cross him over and he's going to block, then you're going to have to put the bumper to him. But most places, this one's probably like the worst to pass. The second would probably be Thompson. But it's just like, you can race clean here. You just have to have patience. And then when it's 5 to go, like 10 to go, it's go time. And no one's going to have patience. So they're going to start rooting each other's stuff. And that's what's going to happen. It's going to lead to that big pile up.
Absolutely, and we saw quite a bit of cautions there, especially the second half of the race. Did that help you? I know you said it helped you with the track position, but in terms of like tire heat and kind of regathering your thoughts after getting turned there, those caution flags definitely kept helping you out. Would you agree?
Yeah, most definitely. Once I got turned, I was like, these cautions better keep coming or I'm going to be absolutely screwed because there's no way I'm going to be able to run these guys down with that short amount of time. But, I mean, those cautions came and came, so I was able to get there in time.
Were you confident knowing you had a good car? I mean, you started the race in 9th. You worked your way up to the lead. You were running away with it and then got turned on the restart, ended up, I think, back in 12th, and then worked your way back up to 1st. I mean, did you have a little bit of confidence knowing that second half after you got turned that you had a fast car?
I knew I had a fast car. I mean, I messed up in qualifying. And the car, I just lost the tires. They got too much heat in them, and then I was just loose all the way around in qualifying. But as soon as midway came around and the car was doing good, and I wasn't pushing the car at all, I was just coasting, and I was having a 2-second lead over the entire field. I knew I had a decent shot at winning that as long as the caution didn't come out.
Well, I'd say you pulled it off. We're still waiting to get official word. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think you might be safe, but that's just my unofficial broadcaster's expertise. But still give you a shot to give a shout out to your sponsors and everyone who helps you out.
I mean, just my IRL sponsor, Crystal Auto Body, and it's basically all I got.
IRL Auto Body on the side of that number 17, and Nick Rayberg, Crystal Auto Body on the side of that number 17. Congratulations, Nick, on your unofficial win. We'll let you know how it shakes out, but I think you were one of the only cars who didn't get involved in any accidents on the last lap.
Oh yeah, no. I think I should be safe from that. They were talking about like a jump start or something like that, so I don't know.
Well, we'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep you posted, Nick. Go ahead and do some celebration in the meantime.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks, Nick. All right, our second place finisher, Kevin Dillon, unofficial. Kevin Dillon, you had quite the interesting race. You started 8th on the invert. We talked to you before the race. Give us the insight of what you experienced in that 125 laps.
Yeah, it was a crazy race. This track is so much fun, and it really is. It's a patient kind of race. I ended up won the pole, but I started 8th from the redraw. Beginning of the race, I got stuck on a high side, and I think I fell back to like 12th or 13th, and I'm just like, man, every time there was a caution, it seemed like I was on the high side. So really just had to scratch and claw my way up to the front and try to make passes when they were available. And it's like I said pre-race, I just needed to run 125 smart laps, and that's what we did here.
Now, a lot happened on that last lap. What did you see through your windshield? We know there was looked like 2 or 3 separate incidents. How were you able to get through that? I think you were about second or third when you took the white flag, and you were able to get back around without getting involved in any of that. What did you see?
It looked like on the white flag lap that the 56 car had slowed quite a bit on the inside, and I was thinking maybe he was expecting it, like a hit from behind, so he was kind of dragging the brakes to make sure the back of the car stayed settled, and then looked like the 9 kind of went low and ultimately tried to make a spot where I don't think there quite was one, and they made contact in the 3, and I kind of saw it was going to happen by how low the 9 car was, so I moved up the track to essentially try to anticipate the spin, and I was able to kind of dodge both those guys and bring it home second.
Great driving, Kevin. I mean, it seems like whatever track we go to, you seem to be at the front. Are you confident when we go to the outer track next week right here at Irwindale?
Yeah, the outer track is kind of like a one-line track. It's actually an outside line, so it's kind of one of them situations where restarts really make the difference whether or not you're moving forward or you're moving back. So as long as you can pretty much keep the RPMs up on a high side, you can make up some time and make up some ground. So it took me a really long time to get to figure that place out. It was one of the worst tracks when I first started a few years ago. So last time we were there, I ran pretty good. So I it's, man, there's so many fast guys here. It's really hard to say what you got until you get here every Monday.
All right, Kevin, we know your plan next week. We're definitely going to be keeping an eye on you. Why don't you give a shout out to your sponsors and those that help you so we can see you next week.
Yes, sir. Decals by Dylan, Vinyl Graphics in Pasadena, and big thanks to Jeff Dillon. He is a huge part of my racing program. He's tons of experience and probably the cleanest, smartest driver that I know. And I try to emulate him, but I always seem like I get caught up in more stuff than he does. So I thought I was going to gain some points on him tonight. He had fallen back a little bit, but in true Jeff Dillon fashion, he rallied back up to the front again.
Big shout out to Jeff Dillon. Kevin Dillon with a second place unofficial finish. Thank you so much, Kevin. And we'll be seeing you next week right back here at Irwindale to finish off this California hustle.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate the broadcast. You guys knock it out of the park every week.
Thank you so much, Kevin. That was our unofficial second place finisher, Kevin Dillon. And Jason, it looks like they're still reviewing that last lap. No official word on who's going to end up where. Give me your thoughts on this last lap, this chaos, this slobber knocker.
Yeah, it was awesome racing. It's kind of what we were all deep down hoping it kind of came out to, and we had that restart. It was green white checkered. Everyone stayed, kind of bumper to bumper all the way up to that last lap, and it was that last turn for the checkers, man. Everyone was going for it, and that's what you're gonna get. It was an awesome finish. I can't wait to find out the official. I can't wait to find out the official order here, so we can give it out. But yeah, I mean that's the best finish that you can look for some short track racing for sure.
Well, I know we have a tight-knit group of drivers here in the All-Pro Sim Racing League, but I'll tell you right now, Jason, there was some chatter after this race between a couple drivers, a handful of drivers. A lot of people not happy with the racing in the last 15 or so laps here. A lot of frustrations boiling over in the post-race chat. So I'm curious to see if those frustrations are going to carry over to next week, or if 7 days of rest and relaxation is going to kind of ease the wounds.
I think you've been in racing long enough to know that's not the case. These guys are gonna roll in just as mad as they leave tomorrow, or I mean tonight. Tomorrow they're just gonna look at it, and what a smart driver does, what I've been told, what a smart driver does is you go back, you look at the tape, and you're not so much focused on what went wrong, but you're focusing on what you could have done differently. Even if you were like the victim, even if it was something that you couldn't dodge, you look at what you could improve on next time, because that's just going to help keep you out of stuff down the road. So, I mean, it looks like the 9 crafty getting sideways, and then Vadi getting up into him was what the big picture was there. So it's going to be up to kind of all drivers involved to go back, watch themselves, and watch what they could have done separately to stay out of that mess. And it's not necessarily whose fault is it; it's what I could have done better.
Well, I think what's going to happen, Jason, is like you said, they're gonna go to bed tonight. They're gonna be frustrated. They're gonna watch the tape tomorrow or maybe the next day, and it's gonna reignite their frustration. And then they're gonna have a couple days to kind of cool off. And then they're going to strap into these cars next week, and all of that is going to boil back to the forefront. And you're going to just be, as soon as you strap into that car, you're going to be reminded of what happened the last time, and you're just going to be going, that was the guy. That was the guy.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it's hard to turn that back off, especially when it's the same guys. Just hearing them start saying something, and that's the voice of the guy that did you wrong, or you feel that did you wrong. It's all gonna come back.
So we're hearing right now, nothing is still 100% official. I believe Nick Rayberg should end up being the winner of this race. Again, not 100% official. Right now, the only change that's really being known is Justin Blackdeer in the number 51 car. He is going to be moved up to the 6th position in finishing because there was a scoring error and he ended up a lap down when he was actually running on the lead lap. So Justin Blackdeer in the 51 was actually on the lead lap, and he will end up 6th, which would put him in front of Matt Vaudy. And that's still, again, before they figure out what's going to be done, because Michael Crafton's in 5th, and if they decide that he turned Wilkinson, that may shuffle things up. But as of right now, that's the only thing that they've really kind of boiled down.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a long process. I was hoping we could at least get clarification of the race winner before we go, but this is going to be a long night process. Someone's going to be late to work tomorrow because you're going to have to go back through and kind of look at, if that's what your rule book states is by, if they have to determine intention. That's a lot of cars they got to go through tonight just in this one turn. So they're gonna have to be looking through everyone. But yeah, we do see Justin Blackdeer. He ended up taking a ride through the inside of the track, the infield, if you will, And so that's why it would not score him properly. It wouldn't have scored him until he got back onto the track, the surface. So that's how he lost those positions, as you saw him slide through there earlier.
Yeah, I was curious because Justin was running solidly in the top 10 the whole race. So I was kind of curious how he ended up 12th a lap down. But that right there would explain it all. So definitely a shakeup there. We've seen so many shakeups here at the end of these all-pro sim racing races. Lots of action, lots of adjudication necessary to figure out these official. I mean, the field is so tight too. You know, it would be a completely different thing. It might be easier if it was the field was spread out to kind of figure out who goes where. But it's such a tight field, definitely difficult to figure out who's going to end up where. And on that bombshell, I think we're going to have to end the broadcast. We will definitely keep you up to date. If you want to know the official results, go ahead and check the All Pro Sim Racing website or the Facebook page. They will definitely have official results up there. And we want to thank all of you guys at home for watching. Whatever platform you may be watching, we want to thank you for joining us here tonight. And join us again next week, where we're right back here at Irwindale on the big track. For my buddy up here in the booth, Jason Anderson, and our producer, Jeff Shrewsbury, behind the scenes, I'm Steve Roswick. Thank you so much for watching E-Racing TV, and we'll see you next week.